Hey, so I made some comments on social media recently about my health and how I'm doing with the whole lockdown thing. There's always a danger of sounding a bit vague on social media, especially on Twitter in 140 characters or whatever it is. So I wanted to elaborate on what I'm talking about when I say that I'm having health problems as a result of lockdown. So normally I manage my symptoms of CP, spina bifida, etc. by going to the gym, and I normally swim quite a lot, swim several times a week. And obviously with lockdown, who is this? It's Milo. Oh, look at do you want to come say hi to YouTube?
Why not?
Why not? You have to sit on my lap because you can't see the YouTubes. Oh, you're so heavy, Milo. Look at your hair, brothers, almost. Ugh. Look at this big fella. Look at him. Look at him. He's so big.
Hello.
Let me finish my blog then. Where was I? So health symptoms. I go swimming a lot to manage those, and obviously lockdown means I can't go swimming, and even I wasn't really prepared for how quickly my health would descend. So I wanted to share a bit more about my health journey in case it's useful to anyone else who's going through anything like this. Right now, the symptoms of CP and the lack of exercise and being at home all the time has meant that I'm really not coping very well actually with life. Quite overweight. I have to be so careful with what I eat, and even just kind of a normal. I'm not like ridiculous with overeating, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I've only got to see a pizza and I put on. Is that a sound for ice cream truck? There's a very fitting sound as I'm talking about unhealthy food. I've only got to look at a pizza and I put on a pound. I'm really one of those sort of people. I'm overweight. My joints are really bad. I'm really struggling to get around. My hips, I've got a tear in my left hip, which I've had since I was about 14. Just from the way that I walk, the kind of awkward gait that I have has eventually sort of damaged my hip. I've got other injuries as a result of that. And obviously, I do use a wheelchair when I'm out and about, but I'm just at home all the time. I'm not exerting any energy. So I've got to really think about how I'm gonna get back in shape. And I guess, I've got a lot to do. I mean, I've been trying to do the yoga thing. Even when people say that yoga is people post a video of beginner yoga, and it's just grueling to me. Even a beginner level yoga is almost impossible. Ayaka, my amazing choreographer, has been helping me out, and it's really good to have some tailored stuff because she also has a big interest in yoga, and she's a dance therapist. She knows a hell of a lot about movement and what the body can and can't do, and she's worked with people who have impairments before. She knows my history really well, so she's doing what she can, but obviously she's not with me. Well, she's not physically with me at all. She lives in Tokyo, but we only speak to each other once a week, and I need a new, healthier routine. Trying to just get on it and embrace it. Embrace not just sort of treading water and thinking, how do I survive my symptoms, but how do I get in good shape? How do I get to a point where I feel really healthy, or as healthy as it's possible to feel with these symptoms and these conditions? I've no idea where that threshold is, but in all honesty, I've never tried to find it. So it's very late in the day to try and find it, but I'm going to try, I think. What else can I do? I mean, I've got to stay at home for the foreseeable future. Doesn't look like I'll be out doing anything in terms of concerts or workshops or any of the stuff that I'm used to doing. So, I've got to find a way. Certainly the gym isn't going to open anytime soon. So what does that mean for me health-wise? Well, I'm looking at my body type. I've got an endomorphic type body. I tend to hold fat quite easily. I put on weight quite easily. Blah, 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 those kind of things. Well, Google is your friend on this one. I think it's really helpful to know your body type and learn what it requires. I did some macro planning this morning. I'm going to get my diet balanced out. I don't eat anywhere near enough protein, it turns out. Don't eat meat, so that is a bit of a barrier. I'm not going to just start eating loads of chicken and broccoli out of Tupperware like all those healthy movie stars do. Just chicken all the time. What's for lunch? Chicken. What's for breakfast? Chicken. Just a lot of chicken. Mark Wahlberg said he ate 3 chickens a day. Imagine eating that many chickens when he was training for some big movie. Yeah, useless fact for you there. But yeah, don't eat meat at all. So the idea of like, no, it's not going to happen. So I've got to work around that. And I got to, just design a way of being more healthy. And I guess I'll share a bit more of that health journey on here. I don't want to. I don't want to share any of this. I think it's horrible. I hate doing this, actually. But I can't be the only person who has a mobility impairment, joint issues, blah, 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 and is normally exercising and is challenged by the result of the lockdown thing. So maybe someone in my audience will find this stuff useful. We'll see. So I've got my daily burn macros. I'm supposed to be eating how much food? What is this? 189 grams of protein, 141 grams of carbohydrates and 75 grams of fat, totaling 1,995 calories, and that is apparently the magic number from a man who looked really serious and knew what he was talking about on the YouTube. That does check out with other stuff. I used to do the if it fits your macros way of doing things before. If you're not familiar with a macro-based diet, is that what you'd call it? Macro. It's saying basically you can eat whatever you want as long as you've set these boundaries. You're going to get this much protein, this much carbs, and this much fat in your diet. Those are the 3 main areas, and as long as you stick to those and you reach those targets, you do actually have to reach them. You can't just eat under. That's something I've noticed. I've tried starving myself. I don't lose any weight, and there's good science to back up why you don't lose any weight if you just try not eating. So the macro thing is quite useful because it gives you a framework to say, well, nothing is potentially off limits. And they do say that, all of this stuff, it's like 75% diet and 25% exercise or whatever. The big challenges for me are that I'm overweight. I feel quite weak, not good with balance and muscular strength. And I've got loads of joint problems which kind of get in the way of doing anything about it. I can't just go for a run. It's just never going to happen. It's not possible. But when I go swimming, it's a different thing. The water supports the injuries, and I don't know, it works. It works really well. But that's off the table, so I've got to work this out. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get off YouTube, and I'm going to go and lift some weights, and start being more healthy. Because I have to, frankly, or else. I do feel so old. I feel like I'm broken. I feel like I'm just I'm just dying. I feel like I'm making it look like I'm trying to be funny. It's awful. It's so bad. I'm just so stressed all the time because I'm in so much pain, and it just, it's well shit. Okay, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the good vibes on the new music. So I started a new side project, Kawasaki Brave Thunder, which is an amazing name. 10 points for the first person who works out where I got it from. It's if John Hughes made an action movie in 1988 set in Tokyo, then this is the soundtrack. It's just pure synthwave 80s good vibes, and it's really fun to do. I don't really have the emotional capacity to really invest in trying to make big, serious, complex songs at the moment, and just playing around with goofy 80s sounds is making me happy. So that's what you're gonna get for the time being. Please feel free to complain to someone who gives a shit. Cool, thank you for watching. As always, thank you. Thanks.